guys, welcome to my little paintbrush. My name is Miss Cami and I love little pandas, and so I'm really excited about this painting today. I hope you are too. Before we get started, I just want to remind you that you can pause, you can rewind, you can fast forward this video. That's kind of the fun thing about painting at home, so don't feel like you have to keep up with me. If I'm going too fast, go ahead and pause and paint at your own pace. You definitely don't want to be rushed when you create, and you want to give every part of your painting 100% of your attention, so feel free to do that. Also, just a friendly reminder that our paintings will be different. Enjoy the process, enjoy what you create, and don't compare yourself to me or to anybody else you might be painting with. Your piece will be unique to you, so enjoy that. All right, let's get started. I'm going to grab myself a nice big flat, okay? And you can see my palette has some fun colors on it. I'm going to start with my background, which is a really light purple. So I'm going to pull some purple over here and just mix a generous amount of white with it. So one thing that's good to remember is that your paint will dry a shade or two darker on your canvas than it appears on your palette. So anytime you're happy with a color, go a shade lighter, because it will dry a little bit darker. Once you have that color, I'm going to make sure I've got some water in it. So I'm going to dip my brush in water and then kind of mix that water into the paint so it's nice and loose. And then we're just going to fill in our background all around this panda with these big lovable eyes. I just think this is the best and makes me so happy. If you're painting on a stretched canvas, go ahead and wrap that. Go around your edges. That's a good thing to do so that you have a nice completed piece. So I'm just filling this in. You can see I generously load my brush. And what I'm doing first is I'm painting away from my panda so that I can go quickly. And then as I get close, I'll slow down. But I want to just get that paint on there to start with, okay? So we're just gonna get that on our canvas or our surface. Now as I get closer, I'm gonna load it with all that purple and then scoop up a little bit of white on the edge of my brush so that it's a little lighter around my panda than it is anywhere else on the canvas. And this is kind of fun. It'll draw attention to the star of the show. That light edge will. And of course the star is our panda and all of its fun cuddliness. I have painted many pandas, and I love that something as simple as black and white can be so cute and inviting. Okay, so just going to keep going around my edge here. I'm being as careful as I can, but understand that mistakes happen. And if you get a bit of purple in your panda, don't panic. Just leave it alone, let it dry, and then you can go back to it and you can fix that. But trying to kind of, oh, there was some black up on my easel there. Darn it. So just as I was saying about mistakes, we're going to let that area of the canvas dry, okay? Because I don't want to smear that black any further. So I'm just going to let it dry there for a second. And make sure there's none in my brush to continue making that. I think I'll just squish my brush real quick. Get out any black that was there. And then just continue letting that area of my canvas dry. And then we'll go back to it once it's all finished drying. So I'll come up here, do the same thing, that light edge on my brush, following my panda, blending as I go. Nice generous amount of paint. Don't be afraid to load your brush pretty good. you'll want to do that because your canvas has pockets in it, and those pockets can be really frustrating to fill with paint. I think that's dry. So just be sure. Oh, it's still up there. It's up on my little clip. All right, we're just gonna let that area completely dry, okay? Maybe even my little clipboard. So we're gonna move on now that our background is in and it's looking so fun and springy to me. It looks very springy. I'm gonna wash my brush out and I'm gonna continue to use this big brush. And I'm gonna move into these hearts. These really fun heart eyes are really light coral color. So I'm gonna take a bit of that color. I'm gonna move it over here. And notice whenever I mix, I just move the colors around my palette. I make this nice light color, and then I'm going to fill that in to these hearts, these fun big hearts. And of course you can do these whatever color you want. If you have our paint kit and you've just got the purple and the coral, you know, you could definitely switch things up with that and do the coral background and the purple eyes. Whatever you want to do. If you have a lot of paint colors, you just do whatever is speaking to you. These are the colors that spoke to me, and so I'm going to stick with them. But we all see beauty a little bit differently, so I tell people just stay true to who you are in this process. Don't feel like you have to do exactly what I'm doing. And look at that, our hearts are filled in, and the contrast with the purple and this coral is just gorgeous. Now before I wash my brush and move on, I'm going to keep that light coral on my brush. I'm going to go into that original coral with the corner of my brush, and as soon as I've got that on that corner, I'm going to go around my hearts, and I want to do this step while my hearts are wet so that I get a nice blend, okay? Acrylic paint will only blend into acrylic paint if it's wet, and I want a good blend, and so I'm going to work with it while it's wet. You can be as generous with this coral sort of outline as you want. I like to be pretty generous because I really want these eyes to stand out. So when I go to load my brush, I'm just making sure I've got the light coral on all my bristles and then that darker on the edge. So now we're going to hop over to our other heart eye here and just do the same thing. And give it just the funnest pop of color. This coral is really fun to paint with. It's just always so bright and cheery. I love it so much. Sometimes our neon colors can be difficult to work with. They just need a little bit more attention and usually a lot more white than our other colors to get coverage, but I just love them. I think they're fun. Okay, those eyes are everything. Let's wash our brush. Really good here. You can hear I'm just swishing, swishing, swishing. Now we're going to focus in on our cute little mouth. It's open, it's happy, it's excited. I'm going to come grab some white, move it over to that tiny bit of red I have, and I'm going to mix a light pink. Well, it's not too light. It's a nice deep pink, but I don't want to go straight red. And then I'm just going to paint pretty much just half of this mouth because I'm going to come in with my black and I'll shape it out a little bit. But for now, I'm just gonna not worry about the shape. I'm just gonna paint half of it in. Just like that. And this painting is flying, you guys. We are just getting this right in. Don't forget, you can definitely pause if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm still on my background. That's actually very normal. So pause the video. You don't have to go at this pace. All right, clean brush. Now I'm gonna go to my black. So here we go. I'm gonna fill my brush with black paint. Okay, I wanna make sure my paint is nice and thin. I don't want it too thick. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna come up to my ears and I'm gonna fill those in first and just be really careful because my panda is white, right? So I don't want to get the black into my panda. Typically we'll say, oh, don't worry if it gets into the other areas, but black is a little bit more difficult to cover up. So I'm going to take kind of some extra measures of slowing down here. I'm working around those cute hearts I just painted, making sure that I don't get too far into areas that I don't want to be in. And of course, you can switch your brush for anything that you're feeling like this big brush just won't get to. You can definitely do it with a smaller brush. For example, little sections like that where you couldn't get right up next to something because of your bristles or the size of your brush, just keep going. Just put what you can in with your big brush, and then as you get further down the painting and you're ready to do your lines and things, you can switch your brush. Come over to this ear. Same thing. I'm just kind of taking my time with this, pushing my bristles out so that I don't, so that I can control a nice clean line. There we go. Your ears might grow just a little bit like mine are, but nothing wrong with panda with some bigger ears, right? Just a cute cuddly panda here. Trying really hard to have a nice crisp white before we go into nice crisp line before we go into our white. So I really slow down and press those bristles out for that area as best I can, and then I just tell myself, you know, I'll go back and I'll fix any little areas that I need to. Okay, so got our ears in. Now we're gonna go to our cute arms and hands here using the same brush. Up and around. And of course, I'm not going to try and use this brush to go in this area right here. I will do that with a smaller brush. So I'm just doing the bigger sections here with this. Come over and do this side. I'm pressing my bristles. Using all of your bristles will really help you get a clean line. So use them use your brush and what it can offer to your advantage, okay? Use all those bristles. So I'm going to come down to our cute feet. This is the only part of the panda that you need to wrap around your canvas. Wrap those feet around the bottom if you choose. I'm just going to go all the way around. Try and do that in one swoop here. Same thing over here. Just filling it in. Now I can't move as I'm filming this. I gotta stay in one spot, but you can move. So if you're uncomfortable, you move your canvas, you turn it upside down, you turn it on its side, you do whatever you need to be comfortable. Don't feel like you have to stay in any position. Wonderful. We've got that in. I'm going to wash that brush out really good. It's got all that black in it. Set it aside, and now I'll go to a detail brush, which I will use to do my outlining and fill in little areas that were a little bit too small for me. So I'm going to get my detail brush wet, and I'm going to load it with black paint, and really the thin paint is going to help so much. So be sure your paint is nice and thin, okay? When you're doing these lines, that is going to help you so much. I'm going to start on my ears and anywhere around my hearts that I feel like I just need to clean up a little bit. I'm going to do that right away. So you're just kind of filling that in, cleaning up those edges so we can have a nice clean panda line here, just like that. Now let's go ahead and shape in some fun hair while we're up here at the top of our canvas. I'm going to come along the top of the head here, and I'm going to shape in this first little twig or sprig of hair. And I'm going to do another one. It's kind of facing this way. And then it's going to pull in, and then I'll do one more. Okay, just like that. And then I'll continue my outline through my panda. So just like so, okay? So just keep going. Got those cute little hairs. Then we're gonna come down our little cheeks here. Some fun little cheeks. And we're just gonna clean up the edges of our panda here. Come on this side. Same thing. Just shaping it in. And you can see that panda is just coming together. And there's not much when it comes to the outline. And I know that people, they get really worried about outlines, but there's just not much to this. Real quick, let's shape in a nose while we're up here. I like to do kind of this lopsided heart for this nose. I just had fun with the hearts in this piece, but I just shape in kind of, like I said, lopsided. You can do any kind of nose that you want, and I like to do it just small. You know, he's got big features everywhere else, so I'm going to keep the nose nice and small like that. So cute. Okay, so I'm going to come down. We've got our belly here. I'm going to shape around there. And on this side, there we go. I'm going to get my brush wet. I'm going to continue to use my water. That's important. I'm going to come into my mouth now, and I'm going to shape in that tongue. And it just kind of goes like so. And the rest of this up here is going to be black, which I'm going to go ahead and kind of just fill in with this brush. Typically I wouldn't use a small brush to do this, but I'm going to do it really gently. The reason you don't want to do this normally is it's not good for your detail brush, but also it leaves brush strokes behind because you're trying to fill such a big space with a small brush. But it is going just working for me today, so I'm just going to fill that in. You can see everything start to take shape here as we start to put these final details into our panda. I love it so much. Some things just put a smile on your face. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to outline this mouth as well. We'll add a few little, might go a little deeper with that, yeah, like that. We'll add a few little highlights to that mouth still, but for now, we're going to let that black dry. I just want to make sure I have a nice deep right there. Look at that. Okay, so let's finish up around our arms here. So we're going to go underneath the chin ever so carefully. This is a nice little separation of our panda's arms and belly, so we want to be real gentle, and then we just kind of want to curve in just like that, kind of make it seem a little seamless right there. And we'll do the same thing over here as we fill that in, right under and over. Of course, if you don't have our paint kit and this image isn't on your canvas, you can get the pattern on our website. So that's nice as well. If you want to give this painting a try, you can get the pattern and have it all set for you. Guys, look at this. Look at this panda. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a belly button. And I kind of had fun with this. I'm just going to do almost like an E, but it's a little swirly E. I'm going to come right in the center and I'm just going to swirl it out like that. I'm in love. I hope you are too. I could leave it right here and be just so happy, but we're going to add a few highlights. I'm going to wash my detail really good. I'm going to fill it with some white paint here. The first thing I'll highlight is my nose if it's dry. If it's not dry, you'll want to wait. I just go around the top of it, just like so. I'll wash that out. Okay, now I'm going to get a medium-sized brush. Actually, I think I'm going to do this one. So it's a flat, okay, and I'm going to get it wet with some clean water. I'm going to put some highlight in my eyes, in my big heart eyes. So I'm going to get some white paint, and this is a really thick highlight. I'm going to do kind of like this square brush stroke here, and then bring it down. So let me show you how I did that again. We'll do it over here. So I just use the shape of my brush, okay, at first here. Just use the whole shape of the brush, and then, let's see, let's load this. Keep getting paint colors on the wrong. Then as you come down, you want to press and then kind of bring your paintbrush away from the canvas. Okay? So up here you use all of them, you press all the bristles. This one's kind of tricky because I'm doing it on the other side here. Kind of an awkward position. And then this one we press all of them and then we pull away and kind of make it skinnier as it goes down. Okay, just like that. And we can let that dry and do another layer. If you really want it to stand out, you can go over it again. Kind of make sure it's nice and bold. A nice bold highlight here. I love it. Just looks like those eyes are shining. Okay, let's switch back to our biggest flat. Let's do a quick trick. I'm going to get it wet and then I'm going to wring it gently out, okay? Just rub my fingers across it, but I'm not going to get all the water out. I want some of it in there. And I'm going to dip the edge in white paint and we're going to highlight the rest of our fun panda. I'm going to start on the toe of my brush and then I'll just kind of fan out. There's a wrinkle right there. Okay, so start on the toe of your brush and then kind of go from the toe to the flat and get a nice highlight. And we're just going to do that same thing as we go around. Toe of the brush, come around here, back to the toe. Okay, muscle memory here, guys. Toe of the brush, flatten out and back down. Same thing down here, toe of the brush, flat, back. Toe of the brush, flat and back. My bristles separated a little bit. That's kind of a fun, sometimes I think fun things happen on our canvas and we should just let them be, right? All right, and then we're gonna do the same thing and we're gonna highlight our tongue right in there like that. Just right on the top. Oh my goodness, you guys. It's time for some glitter. Yes, we are going to glitter this panda. I've got some glitter here. I'm going to put it onto my palette. Okay, and I'm going to just grab a nice, clean, flat brush. Here's my glitter. I'm going to load it up, and I'm going to glitter my whole background. Whatever you glitter, which is whatever you want to glitter, just make sure it's dry, okay? And I would give you a tip as well. To not glitter everything, okay? Because then when the light hits your painting, it's just way too bright and you can't appreciate it as much. So pick a few things to glitter, but don't worry, don't try to glitter your whole painting. I'm also going to glitter, of course, these big sparkly eyes. Be careful around the white unless it's dry. If it's dry, you can paint right over it. Big eyes, give them some sparkle. Wonderful. Oh my gosh, so cute. Okay, now I think I can come up here and kind of touch up that black that came through. So see, you just wait till the end, touch it up. You guys, we painted the cutest panda ever and we're finished. We're gonna sign our name with a detail brush in whatever color you choose. I'm gonna go with black, because that'll stand out and it kind of goes with our whole thing here. I'm going to sign my name. I always encourage the artist to sign their painting because it's yours and you should be so proud of it. So sign your name, put this somewhere that you can look at it and smile every single time you see it. We would love to see yours. So send us some pictures, tag us on social media. And if you enjoyed this painting and got some good tips or just loved watching it, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any new tutorials that come out. We are so grateful you joined us. We hope you have a fabulous day and we hope to paint with you soon. See you guys.